I want to welcome you to another installment into the Invest Podcast. I'm your host, John Ross. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Also, subscribe to our brand new YouTube channel. It's not actually brand new, but it recently got renamed Invest Universal. Invest Universal. We're bringing you motivation, fitness, lifestyle, and more. It'll be me and my dope team of content creators bringing you awesome content to have you inspired and motivated to invest and be your best version of yourself. So my guest I have on right now is a personal friend of mine, almost like family. I've known her just so long. She's in business, has an awesome clothing brand. This is actually her return to the Invest Podcast. And one of the reasons why I wanted to definitely do a follow-up is she's been in business for a number of years and she's done some different events. But this was actually her first time headlining the Business 101 startup, talking about business and entrepreneurship. We're going to go over that event. I want to thank her. I actually was a vendor at that event. Actually was my first event as a vendor. It was an awesome experience. I look forward to doing a lot more. But without any further ado, let's welcome the return of Tisha Mitchell, aka Godi Able, to the Invest Podcast. T, what's going on?
What's up? Thank you.
Poppin'. Definitely, most definitely. So just I definitely wanted to get you back on. I want to get you back on anyway, but I know we had that Business 101 startup, the entrepreneurship stuff, and really wanted to have you on and really kind of touch bases on that. But before we get into that, let's reintroduce you really quick. Where you from? Born and raised, I know, but some of these listeners are first-time listeners, so you gotta let them know.
Yeah, I will. Most definitely. We gotta let them know where we come from.
Let them know.
And so, okay, first and foremost, thank you so much for inviting me back. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate what you are out here doing. The message is so much needed. Invest in yourself. If you don't understand that message, please start tapping in, because knowledge about thyself is key, right? And that's why we are here, to find out our purpose. So that in itself is just so big to be a part of. So I really appreciate you having me involved in all this. So just shout out to you, Jonathan Smith. Okay.
I don't try to say too much, but yeah, I'm trying for sure. I appreciate that. Where we from, T? Where we grow up?
Okay, so we grew up in North Highlands, California. We were always embedded in the struggle and understanding that community is everything. A big part of why I created the platform I created was because that exact reason. I wanted everyone to understand that if you have a background of coming from the community, you know, the hood,
right,
the ghetto, you know, I'm gonna just say, because that's what it is. And I love the ghetto. I love the hood. It's a big part of who I am and where I come from. And I think we undermine that that fact too much, and we try to sugarcoat a lot of stuff.
Right.
And I'm here to let you know that it's okay to be from the struggle, because great things come out of the struggle, right? I'm a product of that. You're a product of that. So North Highlands is a great community, and it installed a lot of great things inside of a lot of us, and a lot of us are doing a lot of big things. And I'm proud of our community and where we come from. So
say what up. Shout out North Highlands, California.
Yes, definitely. Let's say that. Shout out to North Highlands. That is family right there. And as I drive around, I always come back and drive around North Highlands, and I always feel that sense of community. And it reminds me of what was installed in me. And that was a drive to want more, right? Yeah. So a big part of what I do is because of what the struggle reminds me of, is to have a drive and to have commitment and to want more. So that is just a little background information of why I do what I do and what I come from.
Definitely. Yeah, I tell people your upbringing and what you're around, you're exposed to can really help to shape you later on in life. Like I said, the grind and the struggle, growing up there, didn't have no silver spoon in my mouth, so the fire and the drive is there. And a lot of us coming from that area, we're doing some great things, fire and drive. So I want to get into my first question about this with
So,
you being in business for a number of years. What made you want to put together an event to kind of, give some of your secrets, your tips to each? Not everybody does that. Some people want to keep things to themselves. They want to be the only one doing it, because these tips and that you gave to people can actually implement those things and start putting those things into their own business. Or maybe it's somebody that's listening that wants to start a business. What made you want to host an event and really kick that game? You kicked some game that day.
oh, you know, a big part of why I'm doing what I'm doing is because people didn't hold back secrets with me when I came to be an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of some big hitters,
Right.
explain to me the game and
Mm-hmm.
gave it to me for free.
Dope.
And so that aspect right there just blew my mind. Like, wow, you don't want nothing in return? You're going
Yeah.
to come to my event
Fair.
and you're gonna talk and tell
Mm-hmm.
people the whole blueprint? It was mind blowing for me. And so that gave me a mindset of wanting to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
Why should it be a secret? We should all be giving back so we can all grow, so we can all do better. There should be no cost to that. I always thought, growing up, oh, if you owe me, if you know me, you owe me type mindset. You have to try to get something out of it, And what I soon grew to understand being around grown women,
Right.
women that were doing amazing things,
Mm-hmm.
that it does not cost to grow people. It shouldn't cost to grow people. You should want to give back, especially if you are in a good place and
Right.
you're grateful for where you come from and you're grateful for what was given to you. You should have a grateful mindset, and that grateful mindset should keep you in mind to want to do better for other people. And so I just feel like when I started out, those platforms were laid out for me. And I wanted to be able to give back in that aspect, like what was done for me. And so that was a big part. Another big part of providing that opportunity was to remind people, women that come from the same background as me, that it can be done. You know, you don't have to be given these handouts. You don't have to come from this strong background. My history is rich. Let me first say that.
Rich
I
history. Yeah.
do
Sure.
I do come from a history of strong Black women, strong Black men.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my family grew up in the South, Louisiana, New Orleans, Lake
Okay.
Charles. I'll
Got
just say
fish.
it, okay? I'm going to be all the way real with you.
Good honey,
Memphis,
I like that.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
We're real country folks where
Country
I
folks.
come from, okay? And so I say that to say I have a rich history. And so when I always want to explain when I come from the struggle and I come from the hood, everything
Mm-hmm.
wasn't all bad. I
Yeah.
was taught a lot of great
Oh, good
things,
stuff. Yeah.
a lot of great things. And I wouldn't be the woman I am today if those things weren't installed into me. So spirituality, learning how to just be a great mom,
Mm-hmm.
a great wife,
Yeah.
just a person of the community. Those things were brought to me from my grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
my aunts, and my uncles. And so if I didn't have them, I don't know where I would be.
Right.
If those people didn't install those things into me, I don't know where I would be. So when I come from the struggle, I come from a place where things weren't so easy.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be straight up and down with you today.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I had to go buy my own car.
Yeah.
I had to get a car. I had a job at the age of 15.
Me
I
too.
had to
Yeah.
make sure that I was providing and helping in my household at a
Mm-hmm.
young age. Everything that I did from prom to graduation, cap and gown, I paid for myself. And
Lady
so
boss.
those things I thought, at the time was kind of rough, but those things helped me understand how to be the person I am today. And so when it comes to my community, I want to do the same thing, right? I want to teach, I want to grow our community, and especially in a time where we just came out of a pandemic, right?
Oh yeah, really. Oh my, we need it more than anything. Anytime now, we need it right now.
Definitely. This is a time that we should be talking about healing and recuperating and getting back to where we come from and getting back to where we started and finishing what we started, right?
Right.
So I just think this was a really good time to understand that and do that because we got some places to go. We can't
Yeah.
stop. We
Nope.
can't stop here.
Hell no.
We got things to do out here.
Lots.
So
Okay.
we got to
Lots.
get to it, right?
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is so important, and there's so many resources out here that we can achieve so much greatness. We're unstoppable. So if
Sure.
we have people like you and me making sure that we are on the front line and we are giving these keys, these nuggets, right?
Yeah, nuggets. You need them. Nuggets is golden.
Keeping people inspired. We
Mm-hmm.
need that because we have so many things that are drowning us and pulling us back down where we are feeling like we're defeated. And I've been there.
Right.
That's another big part of why I do what I do because I have been on that side. And so when we come out of that, we need people like us to keep us afloat, give us that push, and let us know, and keep us reminded that we can do this. It's possible.
Yeah, I'm a big believer. Environment's key. Having people to motivate you to look up to is key. Also do believe that sometimes having that struggle early on in life, some of the most successful people in life, T, if you look at some of their stories, the beginnings are really, really humble because you have to look at it. When you grow up and you have everything, you have a silver spoon in your mouth, you don't have to work for things. Where does the drive and the hunger come from? When you have a little bit of a struggle, a little bit of a grind, you have chances of being a lot more successful in life because of what you've been through. Sometimes the things you go to, they're preparing you for the places that you're going to go later. And like I remember you touched on something there about networking and things like that. And I tell people this. People say, well, John, it seems like, you just started your business and you seem to be having some success. Why is that? I can't understand it. Why is that? How are you doing this? I'm like, you know what? One of the biggest things about me, and I know it's about you too, is I'm genuine. What it is, what you see is what you get. And the brand that I rock and I represent, motivation, fitness, and lifestyle, I live that lifestyle. And another reason I feel like people can definitely resonate with me is, I have a show, I have content, and I show love to other people. I'm a big believer in reciprocal love. I believe that what you give to people is what you can expect to give back. You don't show any love to anybody, show you don't care and have any compassion for anybody, it might definitely be kind of rough for you. So getting back to my next question, if you going up there and speaking, you did an amazing job. Were you a little bit nervous about that? Did you rehearse it a lot? You go over, you scratch speeches, like the day of driving over, did you get like some butterflies in your stomach a little bit? Like I'll be real, for me, vending my first event was like, I'd heard people say, "Oh yeah, I like your gear," and sold gear outside. But then going to your first event and setting up a booth and just trying to get that. So I know for me, once I got there and I kind of start talking to people, it was like, okay, this is cool. But on that day, actually driving over, I got just a little bit. But I'm like, we're doing this, but just a tiny bit.
If you don't feel a little bit nervous whenever it's go time, then that fire is gone. Right?
I talked about that when I went up there and spoke. Yeah, I remember that. Yep, for sure.
You should be getting some type of feeling in your heart, in your chest, in your stomach, where you just feel like, this is go time. Right? So to answer your question, I kept waiting for that feeling of feeling nervous, that feeling of anxiety.
Right.
And it was not coming. I kept just feeling, the emotion I just kept feeling was the emotion of excitement. Like, I cannot wait to do this. Like, this has been on the forefront of my brain. So let me just first tell you that I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah. 6, 7 years, 8 years.
Well, Godi is 6, 7 years, but
long time.
I've been doing business
before that
since I was 19.
Almost 20 years.
Whew, yeah, almost 20 years. And so
Yeah.
Ricky will tell you.
Yep.
I know you had Ricky Banks on here before.
Oh yeah, Rick. Yep, Rick. Yep, Ricky. I gotta
Hey,
get Rick.
shout
She
out
just
to Ricky
got a shirt
Banks.
off me. I gotta meet up with her in a couple of days. I gotta meet up with Ricky in a couple of days. Matter of fact.
Yeah, she's real North Highlands with
Girl
it.
right there.
Yeah. So listen, she'll tell you we never wanted to be on the forefront when we did our shows, and we had every reason to be on the stage and just in front of people. But we always played the background, and I don't know if it was because we were humble. I don't know if we were because we were shy. I don't know what it was, but we always wanted to just play the background. A lot of people suggested to us when we were doing iShine that we were ran by men. And we have to always remind people, like, no, iShine is 2 women, period. And that kind of gave me a lot of thought of, why am I not in the forefront? Why are you not showing face? You know, why are you not going out and just showing out? You do a lot of work.
Right.
But I just didn't want that attention. I'm not that type of person. And so my mentor told me recently, girl, stop being humble.
Yeah.
You've been doing this for too long.
Right.
You need to start saying, showing up and showing out. You need
sometimes
to start.
You got it. Yeah. The time and the place for that. When you got the time and the place to sit back, and the time and the place show out. Show up. Show out.
So I just felt like it was time. After all this time playing the background, I've done events recently, and I've always pushed like my sisters to go up. Like, y'all got this. You know, I'll be in the back somewhere counting the money. You know.
You got to shine sometimes. You got to boss up sometimes. You got to know, like I said, you got to know when to sit back in the cuts, and you got to know when to kind of like step out. Like for me, you know, my brand, I showcase a lot of other people. I like to post a lot of my customers. I like to post a lot of my, you know, content creators and stuff like that and what they're doing. I don't want to be there all the time, but sometimes I gotta show up a little bit, show out.
Yeah. You know, sometimes you got to understand that it's time for you to set the stage and make sure that you are doing what you need to do for yourself and for your confidence.
Invest in Godi, baby.
That was a message for myself.
Yeah.
And as women, we go through some things, right?
For sure.
We have babies.
Yeah.
We go through a lot of things. Okay, I'm not even going down the list. If you're a woman, you know what I'm saying.
I got a wife, so I know.
And so sometimes we're just like, oh, this is too much. That's okay. You go ahead. You take the picture, or I'll hold the camera. You take the picture. But I've come into a place in my life where I feel that it's time for me to step into my greatness.
Okay.
And I'm okay with whatever criticism people have for me.
Gotta be able to take that.
I am, and I'm so okay with it. You know,
you got to take that. You're gonna get criticized for sure.
Exactly.
I get it, man. Every time I do something or I post something, you should have did that. Oh, you should have had this top. You know, it's creative criticism, and I feel like every time a lot of people that criticize me or I'm actually coming from a place of love. So I've been able to just keep getting better and just keep evolving at times, even on my show, you know, my podcast when I first started. Hey, you got to do this. You got to add this piece of equipment. And I didn't take it negatively. I took like, I'm out here in the forefront, putting myself out there. I got to be willing to take those shots, listen to them, and just keep improving on those things.
Yeah, you know, and that's part of your growth. It's a big part of your growth and understanding who you are as a person. No one's perfect, you know, but are you worth it?
Are you worth it? I like that. That's my catchphrase on a t-shirt next time. I'm thinking, I got to get another one. So let me hit you real quick on this as a people that's listening. Like entrepreneurship right now, to me, I tell people it's like super important. Like things are changing. Like companies, jobs, not all of them are paying like great wages. Like lots of people are having to work like lots of hours. Some people are working 2 jobs, things of that nature. So I believe entrepreneurship, having a side bit, maybe multiple, having a side hustle, maybe along with your main job right now is not like a luxury. It's almost something that you really need to look at doing. So let me ask you, what were some of your key points? I know them, but can you tell the listeners and viewers, what were some of your key points you hit on at that event, some of your PowerPoints that you can leave them with some game to get them thinking of some things maybe they should look at doing if they want to be successful in entrepreneurship. I know one of them was kind of doing your research and your homework.
Big, yes. That's what kept me from actually just jumping in to business. I didn't want to do anything I wasn't sure of or have some type of insight and knowledge to.
Right.
I thought that was just smart, right? And I didn't want to. I didn't want to waste my money. I'll be honest.
For sure. I mean, yeah.
I wanted to do something that I knew I could invest my money into.
And throw money away.
Yeah, we don't want to throw money away.
I don't like that.
Especially as parents, with family, you don't want to look at it and be like, wow, I could have did something else with that.
Right. Something safer.
Something safer, something that But so recently I kind of took a step back from entrepreneurship. I took a step back from business. I don't know if anybody noticed, but I put Godi on the back burner.
Okay.
Yeah. And a lot of people probably didn't know this, but I took a break after my baby.
Yeah, okay.
It was a lot on my plate.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I could not handle it.
Overwhelming. Yeah. I went through that too in the last year. My business trying to do a little bit of too many things. I've kind of cut back and I'm doing things, but I'm doing less. I'm doing more, but kind of doing less. Like shit, I was doing a lot and I burned myself out.
Yeah, burnout is real. And what you do have to understand is you have to be out here working smarter, not harder.
Right.
So that's why balance was like one of my last key points, because I understood that late in life, I had a lot of issues with high blood pressure after my son. I didn't know postpartum was a real thing. I'm going to be honest with you, until after I had my second son.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of anxiety issues.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be all the way transparent with you today.
I like it. I like it with you, T. We always keep it a buck. And I believe that listeners can resonate with it more when you just keep shit A1 100, because people that's listening to this show, they real people like me and you. They're not robots. They got real emotions and they go through real shit.
Yeah, and that was so much of an eye-opener for me. I'm so blessed and grateful to have the friends and the family that I have in my life, because I literally had people come here to my house and say, girl, get up, put on some makeup, get out the house.
That's love right there. That's love right there. That's love.
Yeah, and I had literally people lifting me up. We talk about people lifting you up, but I had people have to come and physically lift me up, check on me every day. It was a lot. A pandemic, while pregnant, while finishing up my senior year in college, while working an 8-hour job, and doing in-house learning, while still being a wife, a mom.
Yeah, that'll just woo.
And you want me to run my business too?
Damn, for sure.
So I had to take a break for my own health, and then I was given this really, really great opportunity to be in the mall.
Okay.
And at first, I told my girl Aisha, like, look, girl, I can't do this. It's too much. And she said, you're really gonna, I'm telling you to get some Godi hats and some Godi shirts and come be in Arden Fair Mall, and you're gonna tell me no?
I'm gonna do this. She was like, damn. I don't know.
I laid down with it at night for a day or two, and I was like, I do got the stuff in the garage,
like you got that. You've been given a platform. That's that. Great support and just having that opportunity. But I know the fear was probably there. Like, oh shit! And like you said, if there's no fear, then you ain't growing. Like me, I've been, be honest with you. Like everything I do, everything I step out at is like it's something new. Yeah. So I'm like shit, but I'm like, hey, I gotta do it.
And that's exactly what it was. It was like, do you really want to miss this opportunity?
Oh yeah, you won't be able to live with yourself.
No, and I didn't want to limit myself and miss something that I couldn't go back and retrack in. And what that opportunity did for me is it reminded me why I was doing what I was doing, how important it was for my community base that I've already built, the momentum that I've already built,
right?
The kids that were looking for my stuff that couldn't find it, because my website was down. And so now people knew, oh, I can go to Arden. I can support Miss T.
Need this,
going to the mall. And so I think it was the first week I was in the mall. One of my kids hit me up and was, showed me one of the shirts. And I was
that's love. That's love.
Yeah, let's do this. Like, hold on. So that gave me all the confidence in the world to start thinking.
It might work out.
Yeah, let me just construct my life.
And we got to push this thing a little bit harder.
That's it. Yeah, let me get back to God and my basics of what I know is going to keep me lifted and it's going to keep me strong. And so I just have to get back into myself and who I was and understand what I'm meant to be and who I'm meant to be out here and my purpose in life. And ultimately, that gave me the push I needed to get back to myself and grow accordingly to my lifestyle.
Right.
I did have to take certain things off of my plate.
Right.
But I just have to realign some things. And sometimes that's all you have to do is just stop, erase everything, and realign your life and do what matters. And so that's what I had to do. And now I'm not 100% better. We all have, our struggles or whatever.
Yeah, we all do.
But my blood pressure is down. I'm managing my anxiety. My kids are healthy. I mean, COVID hit us. My whole family had COVID.
Yeah.
At one time. I mean, imagine all of us in 4 different rooms. Like, it's crazy.
Quarantine. I remember I was working my job, and it was like almost half of the place was out at one time with COVID. It was getting like kind of hard to be able to run it because how it worked out is if somebody got it and you worked with that person in the area, then you were out for up to 2 weeks too. So it was like this person tested. So this person might have worked around 4 people in the area, so they're out now too. So it was getting really, really, it was getting really crazy. I was worried. Wife got it. Was really, really sick.
Wow.
We all went through this together, and I believe that we all have to come back stronger and resilient. And one thing I think COVID kind of taught me was just appreciate the small things, just the little things that were taken away. Like for me, it's just me being able to go to the gym now and be able to get a workout in the gym when that was just like something that I dreamed of before being able to do that. Being able to take my daughter out for a bite of pizza if I want to, things like that, like the little things that I can really enjoy now. I remember at one point in time, they didn't really even want us going to parks. So it was like life was just pretty much all the way shut down. But I think one thing COVID did for a lot of people, we had a lot of time on our hands and people had a lot of times to really think about, look at their life and think about what they want to do. Mm-hmm. I do believe a lot of entrepreneurs were born and developed during COVID. For me, I'm going to spit something really quick. You might agree with this as well. People say, hey, John, I think you might have said something about it too, is when you decide to be an entrepreneur, when you decide to go into business, there's a bunch of different things people can do to make money. Like I remember you talked about lashes and like different stuff, but you might do it for 6 months. But if you don't have true passion for it, no matter really how much money it could make, you're not going to keep that going. You're not going to love it. And the people that you're working with, your customers and things like that, they're going to sense it. So I believe the first thing you need to do, of course, you need to pick a business that you believe can eventually be successful. Look at the time frame. But one of the things that you need to have most is you do have to have passion for it.
Definitely. I think that COVID did do us some justice in reminding us of the things we need to make sure we are grateful about, because things can be taken away like that. That fast. I lost a really close friend of mine.
Yeah.
It was really fast, and I thought we had time. And it still messes with me till this day. Like I think about it every day. We have to value the people that's in our lives and make sure that we're living every day as if it is our last. So I never understood that fully until I lost somebody really close to me. And so we always think we have time. I'll do this tomorrow, or, I'll look into this next week, or,
right.
And we have to remember that the things that are important, we got to keep at the forefront.
Right.
And so a lot of that was installed into me as well. So I had to take 10 steps back in order to get 10 steps ahead. And so I understood a big part of my business. Like, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I get Godi, but what are you doing for your community?
Right.
Have you lost that? Are
right.
you still, is that still important to you? Mm-hmm. Tanisha, like, I had to ask myself a lot of these different questions, because that was a big part of why I first started.
Right.
I wanted to provide certain things for my community. I want to fill in the gaps. Mm-hmm. And so when you work an 8-hour job, you're right.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I work 8.5 hours every single day, maybe more, at least 8.5 hours. Yep, I'm there with you.
If your purpose is that important, you'll do 4 more hours of your business, right?
Right.
And so that's why the key that was most important to me was balance, because without balance, you will lose yourself.
Yep.
You might lose your family. You'll lose your worth. You'll lose a lot of things if you can't make sure there is a sturdy foundation and your wife is happy.
Yeah.
Your husband's happy. Your kids are happy. Then we can move up, right?
Yeah.
So it was really amazing. Like, I normally have my family, my whole family with me when I do events. And so when I saw that you had your kids with you, I was just like, oh, this is so great. I love that, because now they're seeing and their wheels are turning. Right. Daddy works a job and he goes out here and he's grinding. Yeah. You know, my son asks me questions about that all the time. Mom, why do you work a job and have a business? Why are you doing all this? Because we're creating generational wealth.
That's that's what we're trying to do.
We're creating multiple streams of income.
Right.
We're doing this because we don't want to have to worry about money later. Right. We want to be financially free.
For sure.
So I want him to understand those principles and understand. I want him to hear these words from me. So when he gets in college, it's not like, wow, I've never heard this before. Like, like us, right? Whoa, what are these things? I've never heard these things. We didn't grow up hearing these things.
Entrepreneurship is foreign to some people because in the regular school system, not saying that, just being an entrepreneur, not work, we're doing both. They don't really, you don't hear anything promoting entrepreneurship. All you hear is, line up and go ahead and you do this right here. You do this. That's all you do. That's the only thing. So to a lot of people, entrepreneurship is really, really rare. Before I let you go, I know you know the importance of having a good circle of people. Like for me, being an entrepreneur, I can't really sit here and talk to everybody about entrepreneurship, because honestly, some people that are different, they think we're a little bit weird, and like people like you and some of my other entrepreneurship buddies, we get together and we're wacky and we talk the same language. But I believe to be in business, to build something like you've built, to build something like I'm building, all these other people, your girl at the pop-up shop and all that, you have to be a little fucking wacky. Yeah. You have to not care about what people think you're crazy. You have to not, like, you fear failing, but you have to say fuck it and go anyway. You have to be outside the box thinkers. So we're weird and we only get each other. And it's great to have you in my circle and my other entrepreneurship friends, because we all speak the same language. We're definitely the same. Girl, shout out your Instagram, shout out your site, where they can get your gear before I let you go. Give them the 411 on the info.
All right, so I am always going to be available from here on out at www.shopgodi.com.
Okay.
I'm also on Instagram as ShopGodi, and I'm on Facebook as Godi Able. So creating content is one thing for me, but my biggest thing, so you get it from me, is creating inspiration. Mm-hmm. I want to be able to be here to inspire. I want to be here to be able to influence. When I'm gone from this earth, the things I want people to say about me and my family is they inspired people. They were here to influence us about hope, change, and all those great things that is going to inspire growth. So we have to start with our youth, right?
Yep.
So that's why Godi is a youth-inspired brand. We have to make sure we start with our children.
They need it more than anywhere. They need it the most.
They need it the most. Thank you, cousin, because they're going to be taking care of us in a couple of years, right? And so we want them to have the right mindset to be able to run this world and to take care of us. And so if we're not inspiring them in the right way, I don't know where this world is going to go.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
In the future, we gotta get them right. There's some that's leading astray, so we definitely gotta have resources and positive influences and things like that, because people tend to take in their intake of what they hear and they see the most.
Yeah.
So we got to get there in front of them. We got to be there for them, and we got to be a resource. Again, you're doing your work. You're doing awesome work. You're going to continue.
Thank you.
I'm doing my work. I love the collaboration. I know we're going to come together real soon. Until next time, Godi Able on the Invest Podcast, The Return, Entrepreneurship, Business, and more. Take care.
You take care as well. Thank you so much for having me. I'll be at Higher Learning Academy April 30th from 9 to 12. Guys will be popping up, and I'll have all my gear. So if you want to come out and check me out,
definitely shoot me the info on that, and I'll do my best to come on out there.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.
All right. You too. Bye.